Oat and Boat, the devastating truth behind their silence. A story of love, loss and the distance that changed everything. In the world of Thai BL entertainment, where fairy tales bloom on screen and chemistry feels endless, one pair stood out in a way few others ever could: Oat and Boat. Their relationship felt effortless, intimate, warm. Almost too real. Fans believed in them, in the bond they shared, in a future where they would remain side by side. But what no one knew was how fragile it all was. How quietly fate was pulling them apart. How the story we thought would last slowly began to fade. This is the devastating truth behind Oat and Boat. The story they never told us. When everything felt possible. In the beginning, they were just two young actors trying to find their place. But when they met, something clicked. It was immediate. Natural. Like the universe had been waiting to cross their paths. On screen, they were magic. Off-screen, they were inseparable. Oat's calm, steady presence balanced Boat's bright, playful energy. They fit together like missing pieces. And without trying, without forcing anything, they built something real. At events, they gravitated toward each other. In interviews, their eyes lingered longer than expected. During rehearsals, their laughter filled the room like a shared secret. Everyone could feel it. They weren't just acting. They were connected. And for a moment, it felt like they would walk this journey forever. The world fell in love. And that was the beginning of the end. Their popularity skyrocketed. Suddenly, their names were everywhere. With fame came questions. Are they dating? Are they real? What's going on between them? People pushed, speculated, demanded answers. But the truth was simple. They never wanted to define what they were. Maybe because they didn't know themselves. Maybe because the world wasn't ready. But where fans saw romance, the industry saw risk. And in a world where image matters more than honesty, Oat and Boat faced pressure that became almost impossible to carry. The tension didn't come from each other. It came from outside. From strangers telling them how they should behave. From expectations they never asked for. From a world that cared too much, but understood too little. The silent weight that began to break them. They tried to hold on, to the closeness, to the comfort, to the warmth of being us. But slowly, something began to change. Their schedules became heavier. Their roles became separate. The industry demanded they grow beyond each other. And with every new project, every new step, the distance grew. They smiled like nothing was wrong. They laughed like they were still the same. But something quiet was slipping between their fingers. Boat, once so open, became guarded. Oat, once steady, began to withdraw. They felt the shift, even when no one else did. Somewhere along the way, they stopped reaching for each other first. The pain of being close but not close enough. There is nothing more heartbreaking than standing beside someone you care about, and still feeling far away. They attended the same events, but sat apart. They looked at each other, but with a softness tinted by sadness. Their smiles were still there, but thinner, quieter, tired. Fans noticed. Why aren't they posting together anymore? Did something happen? Are they still friends? But Oat and Boat never answered. They never explained. Maybe because explaining meant admitting things had changed. Maybe because saying it out loud would hurt too much. Moments that still haunt us. There were glimpses, tiny sparks, that showed what they once were. A quiet glance during a photo shoot. A smile that slipped before they could stop it. A small joke that only the other understood. These moments felt like ghosts. Reminders of a bond that still existed, but no longer lived in the open. And that made it hurt even more. Because it meant they still cared. They just didn't know how to be them anymore. The goodbye that never happened. Some people break loudly. Some break quietly. Oat and Boat drifted in silence. No argument. No announcement. No closure. One day, they simply weren't there together anymore. Projects came and went. New co-stars appeared beside them. The world moved forward, pretending nothing had changed. But the people who saw them from the beginning, who witnessed the authenticity, the closeness, the intimacy, knew something was gone. A chapter had ended without a final page. And that was the cruelest part. Because goodbye is only bearable when spoken. Their goodbye was never said. Just felt. Did they love each other? No one knows. Maybe not even them. But love doesn't always look like promises, confessions, or romantic endings. Sometimes love looks like this. A sharing food after a long day. A holding each other up when the pressure becomes too much. A finding comfort in silence. A being seen in a way no one else can see you. Maybe they were in love. Maybe they were just two souls who needed each other at the right moment in time. Maybe they were both. And maybe that's why letting go hurts so much. The cruel truth about timing. Sometimes, two people are perfect for each other. But the world around them is not. They could have been everything. But timing wasn't kind. Fame was too heavy. Expectations were too sharp. Their bond was real. Just not strong enough to survive the weight placed on it. Not because they didn't care. But because caring wasn't enough. Sometimes, love loses. Not because it never existed. But because life got in the way. Where they are now. They stand on different stages, different paths. Smiling, working, living. Separate but forever linked in memory. There's no bitterness. No dramatic fallout. Just distance. A quiet ache where something beautiful used to be. Fans still wait. Hoping for a reunion. A moment. A sign. But maybe the truth is this. Their story has ended. Even if we never saw the last chapter. And that is the devastation. To love a story with no closure. The legacy of what they once had. Even though Oat and Boat walked away from each other's spotlight, their impact remains. They taught us that connection doesn't need labels. That closeness can be real even if it doesn't last. That some relationships are meant only for a specific time in our lives. What they shared was rare, precious, unrehearsed. And maybe the beauty of their story lies in its brevity. Some stars burn brightest when they're not meant to last. The story they never told us. We may never know the truth. Not fully. Not clearly. But maybe we don't need to. Because the tears, the warmth, the ache we feel when we remember them. That is its own kind of truth. A truth that says, they mattered. They changed each other. They changed us. And even if their paths never cross again, even if their bond exists only in the past, we will remember. Oat and Boat. A story of quiet love, unspoken goodbyes, and a closeness that slipped away before anyone had time to save it. A story that didn't end with a kiss, but with silence. And that silence is what hurts the most. Because the greatest heartbreak is losing something that was never yours to keep.